Sydney Sweeney, who's offering up some reaction to the backlash that her American Eagle jeans ad had. So she, there was a lot of hysteria around her American Eagle jeans stuff because the tagline of the ad was good jeans for good jeans or something like that. So people were making the connection that, you know, having good genetics is synonymous with being a white woman, a blonde white female.
Dog
So
whistles.
yeah, things things went off the rails with this ad and just all kinds of backlash talking about racial superiority and ads with laced with racial undertones and all kind of stuff. And she says that she didn't really see much of it because she didn't really have her phone with her all the time. But from her vantage point, she was surprised by it. But to her, she was just making an ad about jeans because she just likes jeans. This says Sydney Sweeney says the American Eagle controversy was a surprise to her. Months on from the controversy surrounding her American Eagle ad, Sydney Sweeney has reflected on the reaction and suggested it was a surprise to see how much it was blown out of proportion. In a new profile feature with GQ, the Euphoria star was asked about the reaction to the ad, which even made its way to President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. I did a jean ad. I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt every day of my life. Sweeney explained that it was surreal to see Vance and Trump chiming in on the controversy over the ad, which featured a double entendre of great jeans and great jeans. She added that she didn't really pay attention to all the reaction around it. American Eagle shares jumped around 38% following the debut of the ad, while Trump called it the hottest ad ever. There, there was a lot of criticism about whether it joked about genetic superiority, especially since it was led by a conventionally attractive. I don't know what that means.
You know what they saying.
I guess, yeah, conventionally attractive white blonde woman. I was aware of the numbers as it was going. So when I saw all the headlines of in-store visits were down a certain percentage, none of it was true. It was all made up, but nobody could say anything because the company was in their quiet period. So it was all just a lot of talk. And because I knew at the end of the day what that ad was for, and it was great jeans, it didn't affect me one way or the other. So here's a snippet from that interview with her talking about how she was surprised by the backlash.
We're sort of talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a jean ad. I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah, I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
Brother. Man, I'm telling you right now, bro. Listen, I know podcasting has become the running joke about, taking people podcast equipment, making it cheaper so they're not doing it or whatever. And honestly, whether I like it or not, we're adding to the fodder of the noise that is podcasting. But I'm telling you right now, our stuff is far from brain rot. Like that GQ lady, okay, with an obscure jaw line, just sitting there, just glazing this woman, and then beating around the bush to ask her the question like, "Hey, man, you appreciate the fact that Trump shouted you out about this? Yes or no?" It's just weird, man, because I see a lot of that content also with the Corinne Steffens things we covered earlier. some brain rot out there, guys. I would like to say I was a little bit more constructive than that. But that's a side note. My take on this situation is, of course, that's what she's going to say. Of course, she was shocked. Now, you never really know how these things are going to land, I guess. But one thing that this Sweeney lady has shown me, because she's a person that has forced herself in my algorithm. Now, my algorithm has been curated for decades. As you mentioned earlier, man, my data has been getting tracked for quite some time now. So I have a really tight knit algorithm, For You page or whatever it is. And she made it through there forcibly on numerous occasions, as if I like, who is this person? I didn't even know what she does. Like, does she make music? She's a music maker, right? Or is she an actress? Like, what does she do? you know what she does?
Yeah, she's an actress. Yeah.
Okay, she's an actress.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything she was in. Somebody could say, "Oh, you never watched Stranger Things or Black Mirror." I don't know what she was in. Is she a Netflix actress? Like, is she get her own thing? Like, what is she? So this woman, to me, she's being, to be honest, I don't understand the obsession behind her. We covered her bathwater situation. Apparently, I feel like they're trying to make this woman some type of, sex symbol going forward. I guess because she's traditionally attractive. I don't know.
I don't think they're trying. I think they're succeeding in doing that.
I think that's all we're getting here. She feels forced. Hey, listen, man, I've seen plenty of hot women. She's regular to me. I don't understand the obsession behind this. And that's what makes it, to me, feels a little forced. But be that as it may, she garners a lot of attention, and that ad did get a lot of noise behind it. The funny thing about it, all right. No, I as I told you, bro, I can squint with the best of them when it comes to this stuff here. And I felt the double entendre. Would I have blown it up and made a big deal out of it? No, I wouldn't have. I personally don't care. But I can see the double entendre that's going on there in that ad. But to me, that's just whatever, business as usual. But people are going to call things out if they feel like they saw that. So that's great. Now, with Trump saying what he said, now that adds more to it's a dog whistle thing.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's what really got this thing going. And because Trump is honestly just what a wild card that guy is. Anything he puts his name on, it's immediately dog whistle and racist.
Yeah.
So for him to say, that went its way, and then for her to not reject it, she could have easily rejected this question, not answered it, not have it aired. But for her to say that she was honored by something that Trump said, to me, plays more into it. To me, this is all a playing on things. So to me, what this did was, yes, she could say she was surprised by the reaction, but in these situations, celebrities do one or two things. They either say Trump's bad, orange man bad, orange man racist, or they're an orange man sympathizer, which has its own connotations that come with it. So she had a choice there to be neutral or liberal in that context, and she chose to say she found that as a compliment. To me, which it just adds all into this conversation that they want to have about her, because it's all about her narrative. It's all about propping this girl up, because I don't know what she does, but she is definitely, in my opinion, some level of, like, she's some distractor type woman. And so to me, I think they're just playing off of it. I think they like to play with that. It's fun on both sides for them. And yeah, I think it's just game, but I don't think she was shocked by it at all, to be honest. I think this is just how marketing goes nowadays. But what are your thoughts on Sydney Sweeney saying that she was, first of all, surprised by the online responses, and then her response basically saying that, yeah, she found it as a compliment that Trump brought it up. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna leave the Trump part alone because I just don't care.
Mhm.
I agree with you. I think things take on a completely different form whenever he makes a comment, and
Mhm.
but I also don't think that that should be attached to the person who's at the center of it. Like I
I
don't
agree.
like Trump making his comment. That should not then be turned around as another way to criticize her because he said what he said, independent of whatever it is that she had going. Because he's going to do his thing to sort of you know
Yeah,
embolden the
fan
people who
flame.
yeah, he's going to fan the flames and embolden the people who support him
Mhm.
whenever he has an opportunity, and it works every time. So then it ceases to be about her specifically, and it proceeds to become a shouting match between Trump supporters and Trump anti people. But that's not even the essence of the conversation, because the essence of the conversation is, does the ad itself subconsciously suggest racial superiority or whatever, right? Like that's the essence of the conversation.
Mhm.
And when she says the backlash, she found it to be surreal. I agree with her, and well, I believe her, rather not agree,
Yeah.
but I believe her.
Mhm.
And the reason why I believe her is because she doesn't really strike me. Now, get granted, I don't know her personally.
Mhm.
I see. I watch. So I know her initially from the HBO show Euphoria. So
Oh.
back when I basically used to watch anything that came on HBO, because HBO to me for the longest time had just the track record of everything they did was excellent.
Mhm.
So even if it was a show that even if it was a show in which I was unfamiliar with the subject matter, I would still give it a chance
Mhm.
because HBO just had this track record for putting out excellent shows all the time. So HBO had this level of equity with me to where when that show came out, I watched it. And eventually I stopped because it was just too much for me. It's a
Mhm.
very heavy, intense show. It's too much. It brings you down. Like every episode, somebody's ODing or somebody's ODing, or somebody's getting abused, somebody's transitioning, somebody's coming out the closet. It's all of
What?
these, or literally, I'm telling you, bro, that's what that show is. Or like somebody's in the closet and is secretly gay but still has a wife and kids. So it was every show, every episode was like
That's
that.
Drake for you, man. That's what he about.
And Drake and Future. Drake and
Uh,
Future.
they
So
both was
like,
on it. They
yeah,
both
they
was
they they both executive produced that show together. Yeah.
disgusting.
So I eventually stopped watching it because it was just too much. But that's where I know her, because that's kind of how she started. She was on that show.
Mhm.
I don't really know her, but she strikes me as the kind of person who's not very socially conscientious. Now I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But based upon my observance of her from afar, she doesn't necessarily strike me as the most conscientious observer in the world. And people like that tend to just kind of agree to do whatever to make money and live their life and do whatever they want. And they don't tend to be aware of the potential sociological, societal ramifications of things that they agree to do. So if she was caught off guard by the reaction to that ad, I'm inclined to believe her, because she doesn't strike me as the most socially aware person. I'm not trying to belittle her intelligence or anything like that. I'm just saying not everybody is on that wave where they're thinking conscientiously about the world. Like not everybody does that. So I believe her when she says that she's surreal. And in saying that, um, the backlash towards her directly, I do feel was a bit heavy handed and unwarranted. But again, and this kind of goes back to the conversation that we had about NBA YoungBoy. If you squint hard enough, you can always find the objection to everything, and you can say that the ad was suggesting racial superiority. And if that's what you saw in it, I'm not going to fault you for that. I won't disagree with that. But at the same time, I think you can even go a step further and suggest that within population, there's ads in which a baseline for beauty standards is established. Because like Beyonce right now is the poster child for Levi's jeans. And I would suggest that in the eyes of corporate America, Beyonce represents the baseline standard for beauty when it comes to black women. Now, is she? I don't think so, but I wouldn't be shocked if I were to learn that in corporate focus groups, after beta testing and A/B testing, it was deduced that standards of beauty for black women were Beyonce. That wouldn't shock me to learn that. And she's headlining all of these Levi's commercials. But then at the same time, you have Regina King. I was trying to remember what commercials I remember seeing Regina King on, and it was for Vaseline. Where Regina King was in these Vaseline commercials, which I thought was interesting. Like, oh, y'all got Regina King is doing these mainstream beauty adjacent commercials for Vaseline, and she's rocking a short haircut in the commercial. So that's kind of committing threefold pause simultaneously, because you have a black female with short hair who's older. And then you got there was another one that I was trying to think of, and I did find it. It was Viola Davis. She is in these commercials for L'Oreal, which is like a skincare makeup thing for women or whatever. So I mean, I kind of think that this stuff is replete throughout like corporate advertising. If you want to call stuff out, I'm fine with that. I don't take an affront to it, but I do think it's going on across the board. I think that there is an establishment of beauty standards when it comes to white females. But at the same time, if I'm being honest, in my opinion, personally, I also believe that there's an establishment for beauty standards with black women too, being established by these corporate conglomerates. So, it just depends on what you get exposed to and what's more likely than not to trigger you. Now, granted, none of those other ads were subtly talking about jeans and good jeans for good jeans or whatever the heck they were talking about. But be that as it may, I do think that a lot of this stuff was going on. And I don't think that, rather, I believe her when she says she was aware of the fact that such an ad could cause controversy. I kind of think that she walks about in the world not really thinking about stuff like that. And she just says, I like jeans. I'm cute. They want to pay me millions of dollars to do this. And so she signed up for it. I don't think that she foresaw that there was going to be this ongoing, societal conversation about whether that ad is subtly insinuating that she's the poster child for genetic superiority. Even though I do also believe that there are people who took it that way. So I do think that people who saw the ad took it that way. So, it's a free for all. Everybody's going to take things how they want it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I again, if I saw that ad, because I didn't, I just heard the outrage about it. If I saw that ad, because first of all, I overread into every commercial, because I think commercials are doing two things. I think they're A, trying to sell a product, but B, also trying to create a culture of America with their ads. So I think they serve two purposes. I think they're more interested, me personally. I think they're more interested in trying to create the type of consumers that they want versus actually selling their product specifically. Selling their product is important, but they try to get they try to convey a mindset through their commercials personally. So I overread and I overanalyze commercials personally. It's an interest of mine. I don't want to say enjoy it because I hate commercials, but if a commercial is on, I'm going to analyze the hell out of it. Now, if I had saw that commercial, I would have saw both sides. I would have saw that, okay, they're talking about jeans. I would have saw the double entendre. But would I have been offended? No. And this again is much like the NBA YoungBoy situation, where if you want to be mad at racism, American Eagle, an American Eagle ad. Um, there's so many things that are happening before that. You even watch that ad that is racist, that you should be complaining about those things and not the American Eagle ad or whatever dog whistles that's supposed to be letting off or whatever. Like, there's so much stuff that's important, I would say, that you wouldn't even either be watching it or whatever you're watching to see the commercial. I mean, there's so many things that you should be upset about first before you get to a commercial that could be possibly offending you, I guess. But I don't know how you're supposed to feel. I don't know how you're supposed to feel when you're in certain communities about saying certain things. Um, you know, if you're proud of your genes, be proud of your genes. I don't care about that personally. I don't take it as supremacy unless they're trying to get superior on me. So, but if somebody is just proud of who they are, where they come from, I expect that. So, if I saw a commercial that was doing that, I would be like, okay, well, that's them, so be it. Life goes on. I think there's more. I think there's other things going on in life. So the fact that it even became a talking point to me felt like part of the ad. One of the things that they have done, and I noticed this from the Dove commercial faux pas that happened probably like in 2017, 18, up in that range. There was this Dove ad where I forgot what happened, but it was racially insensitive. The internet felt, and I felt like they did it on purpose. And around that same time there was a Gucci ad where the lady was wearing like a turtleneck, but it had like monkey lips or something like that. And I'm like, well, they knew what they were doing. This went across people, and they released this knowing that the internet's going to be outraged about this. And what happens is when people get outraged about it, they post about it more. You're dealing with an industry that any publicity is good publicity. So if they did say something that they knew that was going to get people upset, that's part of the marketing plan. And people's going to have to start looking at these things as part of the marketing scheme. American Eagle is hitting so many home runs off of that, because, and I think it mentioned the stock went up or something like that. I don't know what it was talking about, but they hit a home run with that because they only paid her once, in theory, and that thing is doing numbers and over again. So I say all that stuff to say is that there's bigger fish to fry in the world. If you're one of those people that believe everything is from systemic racism and some form of white supremacy and all these other things, that should be a baseline. Then that means everything that you're consuming and or doing, all right, is a part of that systemic system or whatever. So complaining and nitpicking about one of those things and deciding to be outraged about that is laughable, because you did about 5 other things that plays into that supremacy before you even watched that ad. So if you want to live in that worldview, because it's there for you, that everything is white supremacy, don't get mad at one over here or one over there. It should be part of your algorithm. Live beyond that, or get over it, to a certain extent. So, I'm with you in the sense that I just think that this is part of American Eagle's marketing. I think marketing is taking on so many different lanes, and I think one of them is controversy and or / racism, and then double back and apologizing. I think that's part of marketing nowadays. So I wasn't offended by this at all.
Well, people are triggered by symbolism. That's what gets people talking about stuff. It's why you'll have people who will get all up in arms about Aunt Jemima and the Land O'Lakes and the Land O'Lakes character on the Land O'Lakes box, because getting rid of these matters of symbolism is fighting the good fight. I would say most people feel that way. So for them, you can say that there are several things that you did before you got to the point in which you saw that ad, which contribute to the various systems that you complain about. But what they're looking at is the output of those various systems, which is the symbolistic mechanisms. So for them, getting rid of the symbolistic mechanisms is the way to get rid of the system.
Yeah, it's not.
Right. But that's what people. That's what people are going to gravitate towards the most. That's why we can go on, and we're not necessarily going to talk about why there aren't more Black-owned businesses, or why there aren't more Black people in STEM sciences, or why there aren't more Black people in financial services, for example. But we'll spend hours and hours talking about why this statue needs to get taken down, or why this character on the rice box needs to get rid of, why we need to get rid of this character on the rice box, or why Aunt Jemima is problematic, or Uncle Ben, or a jeans ad which says good jeans for good jeans, whatever. All I know is, when it comes to the angle of talking about or subtly suggesting racial superiority through language, that's replete throughout all communities. That's going on within population for every community in which they target. So like I said before, I personally believe the same thing is happening with Beyonce's Levi jeans ad. Now, the tagline might not be good jeans for good jeans, but she's parading around in Levi's jeans so as to suggest that the standard of beauty for Black women is personified in Beyonce. Personally, I believe that. So I would also suggest, from a symbolic perspective, that there's grounds to complain about that as well, because Beyonce, as we all know, is not the only representation of Black female beauty. But in a corporate sense, it is. So I do think there's something to be said for that. And if American Eagle wants to have their people and have their poster children, and Levi's gets to have their poster children, I say if you're going to complain about one, complain about the other. But if you're going to stay mum on one, you got to stay mum on the other too. That's how I see it. So I think it's happening across the board. Complain about all of it or complain about none of it.
Yeah, hey man, fair man. So hey man, like I said, I can squint with the best of them, guys. Okay, so I see the angle, but I just think that there's bigger fish to fry than tweeting at this lady or whatever. And if it offended you that much, just boycott it like you already were.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know a ton of and maybe I don't know enough, but I don't know a ton of Black women who wear American Eagle jeans.
Yeah, they don't care about that, man. So just it's business as usual. Just keep rolling, man. Oh, and by the way, bruh, there was this whole thing, kind of in the same vein, where we could have covered it here, but Cracker Barrel trying to rebrand itself.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they were trying to rebrand themselves, and people weren't having it. I don't know what they were thinking there. Well, I knew what they were thinking, but then I'm trying to watch college football. I've never seen a Cracker Barrel commercial, literally ever. And the first time I see it, it's Negroes on a porch. All right. The only thing they didn't have on was overalls and a watermelon in their hand, talking about how they love some pot pie or whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, what is this? And it's talking about Cracker Barrel. And I was like, man, come on, guys. Stay in your lane. Cracker Barrel was so good that it didn't need commercials. Cracker Barrel was so good that it already had its fan base, but they're trying to diversify their bonds and trying to be universal. You're Cracker Barrel. Just stay in your lane, man. But this amalgamation America stuff that they're doing to try to be on the right side of things, it feels a bit forced.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's such a cringe commercial, man.
And I've actually been to Cracker Barrel several times. Every time I've been to a Cracker Barrel, there's always been plenty of Black people in there.
Correct.
So I'm not sure that Cracker Barrel had an issue appealing to the Black audience to begin with.
Exactly.
But now they have an issue because they fumbled the bag. But yeah, that's what happens when you create problems that never existed in the first place. And you're sitting there trying to be on the right side of history, and now you put yourself on the wrong side of history unwittingly. And there was nothing that they were doing wrong, just like there was nothing that Aunt Jemima was doing wrong. But symbolism, that is what gets people up, bro. People don't vote on substance and issues. They vote on symbolism.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason why the political that's part of the reason why politics is so messed up, because no one votes on issues or policy. They vote on symbolism, and politicians know that, and so they then start campaigning on symbolism, and then you get disenchanted when things don't get done. Well, the whole reason why you were even in this and you entered this pact to begin with is because you're prioritizing symbolism over substance. So like that's what gets people riled up is symbolism, and so that's why you get people mad about a jeans ad, mind you, a brand of jeans that they don't even wear to begin with. So go figure, man. Like until people wake up and stop caring so much about symbolism, that's what's going to happen.
Fair take. I don't know why that's such a thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can get into that, but you're right. That is very true. And yeah, they're more mad about the image than actually being mad about stuff that matters. So well said.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I get, shouts out to, I don't know. We'll call it a day on shouting out anybody.
Shout out to Dr. Squatch for coming up with a good ad to actually make a lot of money off this woman's sweat. That's a hell of a concept.
Yeah, her bath water. Yeah. Her and Lunel, they conquering the market on the bath water.
Yeah, Lunel. Shout out to Lunel. That's who you gonna shout out for. Shout out to Lunel, girl. Keep on dancing in that dirty ass water. I love it.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all. We out of here. JV Wins Dogon SS. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok. Conapproach. CONAPPROACH. Check me out on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. Y'all already know usual disclaimers. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify. Download us over there on those areas as well. As I always like to say, man, have a mind of your own. Don't be a group thinker. Think for yourself. And until the next stream, until the next video, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being a part of our little community.
Yes, indeed. Yes. And the name is Dogon SS. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS, on YouTube, DraftKings, MySpace, Facebook, Meta, Twitch. Goddamn it. If there's a social media platform, Dogon_SS is out there. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow, and all that good jazz. Just like you guys do here at The Conscious Approach on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching, consciously leaving comments, and also sharing the videos, okay? Because you can't just keep all this knowledge and wisdom that we're sharing every week to yourselves. Please share them to your kinfolks, because they will greatly appreciate it. All right. And as I say every week, guys, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player, and don't let anybody get you off your pivot. So until the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, I still got more rings than Robert Ory, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Shout out to SMU. Shout out to SMU.
Oh, there he goes. He just couldn't resist it, can he? Hey man,
you gonna have to join in. You gonna have to join in on feeling my pain, because
we're still going 10-2, dog. At least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. Shout out to Red Lashley, bro. I'll shout Red Lashley out because we shouldn't have let him go in the first place. But hey man, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
Yep, that's right. But you live to fight another day.
There you go, man. That is.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Until next time, we'll see y'all later. We are out. Peace.
Peace. Go Canes, man. I don't care what this man talk about. Go.